have some journal catching up to do today, and I'll get to that in a minute, but first I wanted to share with you these, an order I got from Mandy Lynn Plans. These are things I'll use more probably on my planner and in my daily pages, but I'm sure some of it will find its way into my daily pages, so need to see what day I got this order in. I got this little washi tape set. I primarily got it for this. I always have a hard time finding browns, and I actually like to use this in my collage artwork as well as my journaling. But I love this little honeycomb pattern, if you can see that on this, and it's in browns. They have different colors, but I wanted these colors, and then it also comes with this little diagonal stripe that I'm, not as wild about, but I'm sure I'll use it, so it'll probably stay over here with, I don't know, with my journaling supplies, or whether it goes with my art supplies. I'm not sure which, but I got those. And then I got a whole bunch of little planner things, because they just kind of make things quick and easy as I'm planning. Nice packaging on here. I like this. I may have to do a tip in or find something to do with this, because that's cute. Okay, and I got a nice thank you card in here. Always love that. It also came very promptly too. Use that as a little tip in. This is my order. Little thank you gift, looks like. How fun is that? That's fun. Meeting, days of the week, important. Okay. And here's a little freebie sampler, that's fun. Those will be very useful. Oh, sleep tracker. I will make use of that. Okay, those are fun. Got these other little ones. And then I got these little office work ones, some art ones. So most of my work day is divided between office time, like computer work, and studio work. So those will be handy. And then there's these little tiny cameras. And then this is got a planner, which is like more my hobby time. This one has these little weather symbols. I thought these were really cute. I had already drawn some date things that were very similar to this, so that'll be fun to have those to go with it. This is like a movie night thing. This is a church or Bible study sticker. And then these are just days of the week. So I will be using those in my planner. Which I have in here. So I'll just stick those in there for now. Along with my page and ink ones. And these I will stick up here. Put a business card in here. Okay, so that's that. And now I'm ready to do some playing catch up. Switching to voiceover now. I have 10 pages to catch up in my daily pages. I have stuck some things in there so they're not totally blank pages, but it's been 10 days since I finished a page. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to fast forward and see what we can get done. Just filling in a little gap there that kind of bugged me on that otherwise finished page on the second. Then I'm looking back to check what happened on the third. I am so happy with the system of keeping a daily record. If that's all I jot down, then that really helps me when I need to go back and catch up, because otherwise there's no way I would remember what, I did on this day or what was happening on this day. I'm using one of my little printables here. It was a very, very cold day, so I had this little sheet of bundled up people and some words on there, so put that in there to kind of record what the weather was like. On the right side, I had already done this little, I'd gotten some new pens, and so I did this little leaf sketch thing to kind of color swatch my pens. I was just playing around with them and seeing what the colors were like. So that's already on the page. I had also already stuck down this sticker. Cannot remember for sure where I got that. It might have been Coffee Monster Co. I'm not sure. But I got a new set of pens. Well, I had ordered them and they came on this day. So that was kind of the highlight of that day, other than just working normal work day in the studio. So these little cameras are date cameras by Pocket Journal Pam, and I just love those because I do a lot of filming and things like that. And so even though I already had the date on there, I went ahead and stuck one of those down too to signify that I did some filming that day. Now I'm just looking for some little embellishment maybe to finish out this page, and I end up finding some, I like these icicle things. We had a very unusually cold and wintry 2 days in here, so I'm just finding some, I believe these were by Pipsticks, finding some stickers to embellish. These are kind of like little stylized snowflake stickers and kind of match the colors, so I just kind of stuck those all over both pages. Going back and double checking again on the days where I wrote down what we did, and added one last little note to this page for moving on to the next. I did myself a big favor by pre-decorating these pages, and that has helped so much. And then as I had images or things I knew I wanted to put in, I kind of stuck those in. here and there, which also helps. So it's not like I have to jump into totally blank pages. So it really went fairly quick catching up at this point then. So it's just a matter of filling in the gaps. I'm using my Tombow marker to make some journaling lines. I have a tendency to write really tiny, and sometimes I don't have, that much to write down. So those guidelines, I like how they look, and they also help me, fill in the page a little bit more. Pulling out my envelope from my organization system that says mail and packages on it that I have sorted out, and pulled out this little Happy Mail thing to fit the spot. It just makes it so much easier to have sorted out, and I keep my stickers and paper cutouts and printable cutouts and everything all together just by topic, and that really helps. I have one more thing I want to note on this day. So this is a printable sheet by Pocket Journal Pam, and I printed it on matte sticker paper, and rather than peeling off the backing, I just write on the backing and use it as a tip-in instead. The dates and days of the week on these pages are from some of my own Patreon printables. I have some stray chunks of washi here that are kind of hard to know what to do with, so I'm just pausing here and pulling out my sticker book and sticking those in. And I have really found that so handy to use. I don't know why I waited so long to get one. On this next day, I had finished a couple pieces of art, so I included photographs of those on there as a tip-in, and put that little cup sticker is by Monkey Mintaka on her. I think I got it from her Etsy shop, and so I put that on there. I had a big studio day that day. My husband was gone all day, and I just had an uninterrupted session of time, which is rare, and got a lot done on this day. Those square stickers at the bottom of that page were by JLB Creative. And then I also put a little film strip sticker on there to denote that I had done some editing as well that day. So that finishes up another day. This day I didn't have a lot to record because it was just a normal day of church, and then worked in the studio in the afternoon instead of my normal daily page catch-up time. That's why I'm so behind, I guess. And so I had saved this magazine image of this woman with surrounded by the art tools, and so I thought that was fitting, so I just went ahead and put that on the page in just a minimal amount of journaling, and that works fine. It still signifies what the day was about, and it works just fine. So sometimes it's okay to just take the easy way out with some images. I had pre-decorated with a little film strip thing along the bottom, because normally I'm filming and catching up in my daily pages that day, but I just had too much work to do, so it was a work day in the afternoon instead. So the next day I pull out these little meatball stickers. I also had this little journaling block that was something that my patrons, my top tier patrons that get like Happy Mail package, received as part of their packaging. So I included that in there. I'm just looking for what exact character I want to also include on this page that kind of fits the theme of the page, and I finally settled on one of my own printables of this I don't know, kind of grumpy looking, I guess, dog. Looks a little rough, and it was kind of a rough day, so that seemed to fit. So I put that in there. These words are, I believe, by Loveland's Life, and so that's exactly what I was doing, is trying to get things done that day. A little writing, and then that finishes up another day. On to the next one. Spent the next morning taking an online Procreate class, and put a little picture of something that I made on there. Next to that, the tip ends are gifts from a couple of my granddaughters. That is so sweet. They bring me their little special notes, and I love having them, and my daily pages are a good place to just keep those, because otherwise they're just floating around and stuck on the refrigerator for years and whatever, and this is a better place. This has been a good place for me to keep those kinds of little treasures. I spent the afternoon cleaning house and cooking and things like that, so I found these little printables. The Clean It Up bottle is from one of my own Patreon printables, and then I had some baking ones, and I do not remember. They're a digital download from somewhere on Etsy, but I do not remember the shop name. If I find it, I'll put the link down below. We had our daughter's family over for supper that night to celebrate our son-in-law's birthday. So I have a photo of them and mention that. I also had a little surprise visit from my newest grandchild, and she's just like a little doll, so it was really fun to see her too. So all in all, it was a good day. I put my Somebody Loves You sticker on the back of one of the tip ends so that it wasn't just blank, and then I usually include on my Patreon sheets some just like patterned paper or something. This time it was like alcohol ink paper, and so because I'd like to have things to cut things out of. So here's an example of how I use that. So I cut out the Lila's my little granddaughter, and so I cut out letters to put in there for her name. The next evening, we picked up a different daughter and her two children and took out to eat, and just really enjoyed spending time with them. They had been living about 22 hours away and just moved back to the area, so it was really good to see them. I had not even met this grandchild yet, so that was really fun to see her in person. We've had lots of pictures and videos, but it's just not the same as seeing them in person. I'm pulling out my Polaroid mint to print out some pictures that I hadn't printed yet of some artwork that I did and finished this day. That is totally what February is all about, is getting some artwork done. So I've been really crunching and to get as much done as possible. One was an example piece for a workshop that I have coming up, so I got it finished, which feels good. I've added in a little bit of that new washi tape that I showed you at the beginning. I really like the honeycomb and the variation of color in there. I think it's going to be really fun tape to have and use. I'm adding in a sticker, which was actually the bottom layer of a dimensional sticker, but I peeled the layers apart. So this has that little red box on there, so I just cover it up with a little bit of washi tape and it's all good to go. I like to draw in some of my words big so that it kind of makes like a headline for the day, or like what the biggest thing was, so you can see at a glance what the most important thing of the day is, without reading, you know, all the text. Using a Tombow marker to color that in. Then I use a different Tombow marker on the fine tip end to do a little bit of drilling underneath the tip end. These markers are so versatile. I've had them for years, and I use them, and they are one supply that I would recommend as a very useful tool for your daily journaling. I'm adding a little strip of meatball washi stickers. They have some that washi tape that is by color, and so I had this little sample roll of pink in that, and so that works perfect for some little filler space. Moving on to the next pages, I had this magazine cut out, and again, I'm trying to get the pages done, so some of these bigger images that I might not always use, I decide this is a good time and place to use them. I'm also doing a tip-in of a portable light phone holder for video purposes that I am adding in here, as well as a sweet card that I got from a friend this week. I put a pocket journal Pam printable on the front. Well, I'm trying to decide which one right now, but they're both by Pocket Journal Pam, and I stick that on the front just to kind of add some interest to that, and then the other one goes on the back side of the card. This alcohol ink swatch I was just showing was another thing that was in my Maker Collage, Physical Collage Mail Patreon tier, and it's on clear transparent sticker paper, so I'm really looking forward to using it. On this day, I put a little screenshot of, I'm trying to follow the Olympics a little bit while I'm working. I haven't done a very good job, but I love watching the Olympics and have caught bits and pieces, so I have a screenshot of like the figure skating gold medal performance on there, and to make note that the Olympics are happening right now. And also I printed out some pictures that came up on Facebook, like 4 years ago, and so I printed those out and put them on the page because it was my daughter's gymnastics meet, and the grandkids, grown up so much in those 4 years since that time. Just making note that it was my grandson's birthday this day, and what I spent the day doing, which was making art. This cute printable is by Pocket Journal Pam, and I mailed all my grandkids Valentine's on this day, and it took me like half a day to get all those ready. So I'm just making note of that, and then spent some time in the afternoon in the studio before we went to a daughter and son-in-law's house for the evening, and they had just gotten a new house and before Christmas, and we hadn't been there since they'd moved in, so I was really looking forward to seeing them that evening. Now moving on to the last 2 days, so I'm getting pretty current here, so it's easy to remember what we did on these days. I am using these meatball washi sticker journaling blocks. I'm not sure what to call them. They come on a roll, but they each have these little individual like journaling block elements so you can cut apart and use one block at a time, and I am really liking those. They have a huge variety of things that kind of fit my activities, I guess, so I have really enjoyed using those little journaling blocks. This crazy looking character is from one of my Patreon sheets. Printing another picture of a piece of art that I finished up on this day. I had so many pieces started and kind of felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. Now all of a sudden this week I've finished up several of those pieces, so it feels like super productive. I'm also printing on my little Polaroid Mint a image for a movie we watched that evening that I thought was pretty good. It was The Great Debaters, set in the 1930s. Interesting and, kind of challenging and thought-provoking as well. We just had popcorn for supper that night while we watched a movie, so I put a little popcorn bucket down there as well. Up at the top next to the 12, I have Little Girl by Pocket Journal Pam and my own day of the week. And now I'm getting out another one of those meatball journaling blocks of some characters at a table having a birthday party, so that seemed perfect. Decided to journal in red on this page. I really like using colored inks for my journaling, but I so often forget to do that. Put a little Papa Pio sticker from Amazon on here of this happy little dog celebrating. Trimmed the bottom part of him off so he would fit. Don't be afraid to cut and trim your stickers to be what you need them to be. This church is from one of my Patreon sheets. Then just adding a sticker that says rejoice up there and doing some journaling. I use a Hobonichi, the little pamphlet that comes with a Hobonichi, and I had saved that and never used it, so I thought this was the perfect page because there's the little image of someone journaling with all the supplies around her, which is exactly what I'm doing on this day, so that seemed very suiting. I made a few notes about the sermon up at the top. I in my planner Hobonichi, I use it to take my full-fledged, sermon notes, and so I have it in greater detail there, and I just kind of made short reference to it here in my daily pages. Adding in a bit of washi is kind of some filler as well as decoration. Using letter stickers, I have recently been going through a book of Mark Harold's artwork. I think I first heard about him from Julie Balzer of Balzer Designs, and I know she just recently did a kind of a book review, I guess, of this book. But I love his work and find it very inspiring, and so I just made mention of that. I'd gotten the book recently. I'm just finishing up the page here with some last bit of words, and then I use some stickers to embellish and kind of add in, fill in some spaces, as well as adding a little bit more washi tape in to fill things out. I love the versatility of washi tape. There's just so many things you can do with it, and I probably underutilize it, but it's so useful. Like here, just like those bits of it scattered here and there, it's so easy to use. I even use it in my collage artwork and find it very useful there. So I'm finally getting back to this alcohol ink clear sticker sheet that I have, that I showed earlier, and cut out a little scallop design to kind of fill in the top of that page. And I like that it's transparent and that you can, see the white or whatever it's on top of shows through. And I think I'm going to try to do some more alcohol ink things for the art journal. So now I'm just going back and adding some bits and pieces here and there, just kind of finishing things up, adding a little bit of washi here to this, just kind of looking back through what everything might still need. So here's the final flip through of what we've done today. I'm actually pretty impressed that in a fairly short amount of time, I got all 10 pages caught up and finished, and I am now up to date. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.